what's funny is that there was a show on YouTube, not YouTube, YoTV. Us who were in the age of YoTV, there was a show called The Blue Couch, and this, The Blue Couch. Anyway, welcome back to today's episode, where I have some post-procedure feedback and some questions. Some of your questions are deep. And we'll also be sharing the price, which is something that I know everybody frets over. But in this economy, I can definitely understand. So, post-procedure. Firstly, the night before, you have to eat or drink rather a clear diet, and at 10 p.m. you stop drinking altogether. When I tell you, by the time my procedure came, I was so dehydrated, because you can't have anything in your stomach. Like with any surgical operation or procedure, your stomach is supposed to be clear by the time they go in. So I was very thirsty. Be prepared for that. Then I was sedated. It was actually my first time being sedated, which is quite interesting. I didn't know how I was gonna feel, but they put me on the table. You lay sideways. They hook you up, drip, meet all sorts of things on your fingers. I'm guessing those are all monitors and heart rates and cameras and all that type of stuff. And last thing I remember, people were talking to me, honey, and I woke up to the doctor being like, "We're done." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I was just talking to you. But when I woke up post-procedure, so what they do is they insert a camera into your throat. At the end of the camera, if you think of like a balloon, a normal birthday balloon, when it's deflated, it's very small. So they attach that to the end of the tube along with the camera. They use the camera to search your stomach, make sure you don't have like hernias or anything inside that's either obstructing or could cause some issues in your procedure, or any other underlying conditions that you might not know of. Once that is clear, they then insert the tube with the balloon. It's a deflated balloon. They situate it, and then they start pumping it up with saline, a saline solution rather. And they fill it up to anywhere between 500 to about a liter, depending on the size of your stomach. Mine was 550 milliliters. So y'all check how much that is. Y'all look at a can of Coke and then some. 550 ml of water, and they place it in, close it up, and that's about it. The procedure takes about 20 minutes, very fast procedure, and then you wake up, or you get woken up. They take you to a recovery room where you are then put on a drip, and you just wait for the sedation to wear out. At that point, whoever's accompanying you should already be there, because they receive instructions. Honey, I was so high and I was talking so much shit. I was talking so much nonsense to the doctor and the assistants. Like, yeah, it's crazy. In the recovery room, I made a friend, and yeah. But immediately, once the sedation starts to wear off, you can actually feel that there's something in your stomach. Like, you feel full, bloated. You feel, no man, like even when you start to press, you're like, okay, wait, there's something there. You feel pressure in your stomach. And so that's how I felt post-procedure. And then they give you instructions, they give you medication, they give you a list and an appointment for the next day. So the next day you do come back for hydrotherapy, because we need to pump you with fluids, right? And the reason why they need to pump you with fluids, because let me tell you, honey, you don't sleep. That first night, be prepared, there's no sleep. I've never in my life felt what I felt that night. Tons of throwing up. And mind you, remember, you haven't been eating. So a lot of you might be like, oh, what are you throwing up? You throw up. You throw up fluid, stomach fluid. And remember, because you have a foreign object in your body is trying to figure out what is this, trying to fight it, possibly reject it, that type of thing. If you make it through the first night, my dear, you'll be fine. But that first night, I think at some point I was like, deep regret, deep regret. Why did I do this? Oh my word, this is so painful, so uncomfortable. You can't sleep. The one side you feel it moving, the other side you feel it moving. You have cramps, you have nausea, you're maybe in a little bit of pain. Honey, let me tell you, I think I fell asleep that first night at 4 a.m. in the morning. But you do have medication, so I do recommend that you do your procedure rather early, because I almost didn't get medication that day. The pharmacists were closing, but luckily I went to a hospital, and the hospital has a 24-hour pharmacy, so that is what saved the day. The medication absolutely helps you. There are tons of medication, but a lot of it is symptom based. So some is for nausea, some is for cramps, some is for pain, all that type of stuff. Then you have antibiotics, which you'll start about a week later. I'm not on antibiotics yet. I think it's just to wait until the stomach gets settled. Post-procedure also, you are on clear liquids for at least 5 days. I've been on clear liquids for a while now. Maybe you'll notice my tongue is red because on one of the dietary allowances, there's an ice lolly, a sugar-free ice lolly that you can take. So I've been consuming a few of those to keep my sugar levels up, rehydrate, energize, clear some broth. Really helps with like savory cravings. And I think even in those 5 days alone, I've lost a ton of weight. But you do feel weak because you're not eating how you normally eat, so you're not being replenished how you normally replenish. My body moves kind of slowly. I get tired quickly just because I'm using through all my energy reserves. But I'm so much better, guys. That first day, terrible. Second, third day, you start to find a sleeping position that feels comfortable to you. And as the days go by, it literally gets better and better and better. But even as you drink, you'll feel your tolerance for what you're drinking or eating is very slim, especially in the early days. So even now, if I have a gulp of something to drink, I'll feel that it was a bit too much. So you do have to pace yourself. There are instructions on how you should be drinking. I've been drinking through a teaspoon. But yeah, those are my post-procedure woes. If I do remember any, I will include them. And let's get into your questions. So the first one is, let me check on my laptop. What is the weight maintenance plan once you've reached your goal? Did my doctor send you? Because that's a deep question. But honestly, no, for real. I think for me, as I said earlier in my first video, is that the things I've learned now that I'm older versus when I was younger. I mean, I didn't care about my body when I was younger. So I wasn't doing the things to maintain because I was hot. So now I know better. I've been on the program. And because I have this balloon in for 12 months, I am steadily learning the right type of eating habits. Like I said already, even with consuming stuff, I am already averse to consuming a high level of stuff. And because I want to fill my body with proteins and nutrients, I'm going to want to eat what is going to give me nutrients versus eating just to eat. So it's definitely maintaining with some exercise and good food. Really, that's all it is. Less alcohol. And we'll take it from there. So we'll see a year from now how my plan sticks out. Okay, someone asked, what's the foreign object inside of you? This was from my Instagram, so someone has not been watching the videos. Go watch the videos. It is a balloon, darling. Okay, how much does it cost? That is probably one of the most important questions and most common questions. Let's get into it. Costing is, there's a procedure cost, there's consultation costs, there's medication costs, and there's food costs. So when we talk about costs, I'm going to talk about everything because I think people don't realize that there are additionals. So the actual procedure costs is 57,000 Rand. 47,000 Rand is the actual putting in the balloon with the doctor's fee, sedation, hydration, therapy. The other 10K is for when you want to extract. The reason they include it in there so that you know that by the time you take it out, it's going to cost you 10K. So upfront cost 47, back end cost 10K for when you want to remove it. It was Women's Month, so I did get a special. We got 10% off of the 47K, so I ended up only paying 42K because there was a special. So that is the procedural cost, right? Let's get into the additionals. Before you even go into too many things, you have to go see the doctor. Consultation is 2,000 Rand, right? Consultation to meet with the doctor to decide on the procedure that you want to do, because he offers many other procedures. 2,000 Rand consultation. That is cash, so not a medical aid covered consultation, okay? You then have another consultation with your dietitian. That is 950 Rand, the dietitian I used. I know there are a few at the office. The one I use, 950 Rand for your consultation, which comes with your diet plan. So you discuss your medical history, how you've been eating, what your weaknesses are, as well as your diet plan. So she gives you a booklet that has all your diets in. So your healthy food diet, which is your low gluten, low calorie, all of that. You've got your mixed diet, so your mixed liquids or your soups and your smoothies, and you've also got your clear liquid diet in there as well. So you get a maintenance plan, or a rather dietary plan in there, and that's 950. Then you also have to meet a psychologist. The psychologist is 1,000 Rand. You will have to see them twice on this journey, so budget 2,000 Rand for 2 sessions. Luckily for me, my medical aid paid for that session, so I did not pay that 1,000 Rand, okay? The prescription that the doctor gave me prior to surgery was paid for by my medical aid, but just budget maybe $200 for your pre-procedure medication. My post-procedure medication, which is a lot, was also paid for by my medical aid, so I did not have to pay. But you're gonna have to budget. I can't tell you the price because medical aid does not write the price of the medication on the slip. But yeah, budget for post-op medication. Then most importantly, budget for your food, which is going to be liquids most of the time. And because it's liquid, it's going to be things you're not used to buying. A lot of the stuff, like the shakes, the whey powders, the specific ones that you're given in your diet are not found in stores. I looked and I got tired of looking, so I eventually bought it on Take A Lot. Take A Lot, unfortunately, is slightly expensive for obvious reasons, but if you want to get it in time, just do it on Take A Lot from the get-go. So some of the shakes are nutritional shakes, health shakes, gluten-free shakes, whey powders, pure whey powders, so not the GNC ones that you find, and this is no shade to those GNC ones at all, but the pure whey powder I also got online. So budget for those things are not cheap. I think one of the powders cost me 800 Rand, one powder. Some of the other shakes cost me about 600 Rand. I'll try and do a breakdown for you on the side of this video or at the end. So yeah, some of the shakes can be pretty costly, but they have the nutrients that you need. You also need supplements like Immune. So I ended up going to both Clicks and Dischem because some don't have what you need. So give yourself time before the procedure to do all these things. Meet with a psychiatrist, meet with a dietitian, get your food in order. You have to have cash money on you to do this procedure. So all in all, I would say my cost 42,000 for the procedure, about another 2,000 for consultations, another maybe 2,000 for bulking up on food, the liquids and that, and then I would say another maybe 1,000 for medication. That's if you're not on medical aid. So for me, luckily, psychologist medical aid, pills medical aid. So And I'm on a medical aid that is underwritten or administered by Discovery. So if you have a medical aid that is underwritten or administered by a Discovery, the possibility of those things being covered is high. I think the medication comes out of your MSA anyway. Psychologists, I know Discovery, I don't know what plans you're on, but they do pay for psychologist visits. All right, that's really all that we have for today. Someone asked me, oh, there was one more question. How often do you weigh? I haven't weighed myself yet. I've told myself I'm going to do it once a month and be diligent so that I can see the results, because I don't want to be one of those everyday people. So yeah, I'm going to check once a month. But my cousin came over today, because today is exactly 1 week post procedure, and she was like, oh my gosh, you look like you've shed a few pounds. And I was like, I better, because child, I've been sticking to this damn liquid diet. I miss food. I think I miss the taste of food more than anything. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any more questions, let me know. I cannot wait to start shedding these pounds, honey. All right.